So it's not a surprise around the league that the Los Angeles Lakers, fresh off of their NBA championship, made a lot of moves thus far this offseason, reshaping that roster, essentially pretty much bringing in a new crop of guys in that Lakers mix as they look to repeat as champions. That's not a shocker. But one of the guys that I thought that would make it through and kind of stick around alongside LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and company was Dwight Howard. I mean, this was a given. I knew there wouldn't be a big market for Dwight Howard. He obviously thought there was a big market for himself, but I knew that was kind of that wasn't a realistic thing for Dwight. I knew the Lakers would call the bluff on Dwight Howard, and I just started when it was all said and done. Dwight would be one of the guys that ended up returning to a Los Angeles Lakers roster that really used him and really needed what Dwight gave that Lakers ball club. If you remember correctly, it was Dwight whose defense at spots throughout the postseason, he really gave it to Yusuf Nurkic in the first round of the playoffs against the Blazers. He was spotty against the Nuggets as well. He was willing to accept that backseat role against the Rockets in the second round, not really playing much. So I just thought Dwight and just how much he had grown and matured, and he loves LA. He's got a crib out in LA. I just thought that was a shoe-in for him to return to the Los Angeles Lakers. But I was wrong. So let's start here. Dwight Howard tweeted out that he couldn't wait to return that purple and gold. And we're finding out through Yahoo Sports' Chris Haynes, he thought a deal was done. So apparently Dwight Howard's agent had conversation with the Lakers organization. And according to that Lakers organization, they brought up a deal to Dwight Howard. They did not say this is for sure the deal that we were going to give you. There was a concept deal of around $3 million to bring back Dwight. According to the Lakers, nothing was set in stone, but clearly Dwight thought it was set in stone. He went on social media and tweeted that he would be returning to purple and gold. Dwight's team went to the Lakers and said, hey, we want to take that $3 million deal. At that point, that Lakers organization said, hold on, we don't want to do that deal right now. We never promised you guys that a contract was there. And that's on Dwight's agent, right? That's just bad communication between Dwight's agent and Dwight. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking for new representation after that. That's pretty embarrassing. There is no deal between the Lakers and Dwight Howard. And from that, Dwight has already agreed to the veterans minimum in Philadelphia because now obviously his pride's hurt, his ego's hurt, and the Lakers ain't want him. I don't personally understand why the Los Angeles Lakers did not want Dwight Howard. They're looking for a backup big. He would have taken essentially the veterans minimum, $3 million. The veterans minimum is around 2.6. I don't know why the Lakers wouldn't want to bring him back. I can only imagine maybe somewhere between that coaching staff, Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd and company, or LeBron James or Anthony Davis, someone didn't want Dwight back in there. It was a layup for Dwight to return to that Lakers group for around the veterans minimum. He obviously was willing to take it after he found out there were not a lot of teams interested in him this summer. But he ends up in Philly. Apparently, Joel Embiid was one of the main recruiters on getting Dwight there. Embiid and Dwight could be deadly. I love that. When Joel Embiid a lot of times is unavailable for that Sixers team due to injury, sometimes just needing a night off because he's such a big dude and he's such an agile dude and injury prone. I like what Dwight could be in Philly. I just know Dwight's not happy. He was happy in LA. I hate it for the guy. He had finally found his way. Happy that he got a ring, but he had finally found his way with that Lakers group. And I just knew he'd be back, man. I knew the Lakers would find a way to maybe move on from JaVale McGee and put Dwight Howard into that role as starting center long term. But it looks like the Lakers had other plans. It shocked me, and it definitely shocked Dwight.